me wear my mall-bought boots and comfort denim.
Hi, it's Popcorn Kelly here. It's Tuesday, March 30th. It's really a nice day here in Milan, Illinois, just across the river from my home in Bettendorf, Iowa, part of the Quad Cities. What I want to do today is to go over the set of targets that I made for myself, which allows me to come out on my own setup. I have a total of 8 steel targets, 4 rifle, 4 pistol, and just get some practice in. I found for me, as a new shooter, it has helped a lot to be able to do that. Yes, I'm around the corner from the range, and I'll show you that in a bit, where our home club is, but we don't have access to the cowboy town all the time, and so by having my own targets, I can come out, set them up, and get my own practice in. The other thing that allows me to do, and this is what I found to be really very helpful for me, is to be able to concentrate on a single gun, for example, whereas our typical practices up in the range, we essentially shoot full stages, and I find it really useful to be able to just concentrate on pistols and just shoot a pistol over and over and over again, or the rifle. And of course I do shoot complete stages here with this setup, as you will see. Anyway, it's very affordable, and I'm certainly not the expert in cowboy shooting. There are many others that are far more expert in many aspects of this sport and game than me. I just want to shoot some of these videos so others that are new to the sport and can see and maybe glean a little bit from somebody else who's new to the sport. In that way, kind of share some of our experiences. Anyway, with that, I want to review my target setup. This is a view inside the back of my Jeep that shows the entire target setup material required to do to show you the targets I'm going to make. Everything is in here, from the legs to the steel to the frame, the wooden frame, the 2x4s, to the hangers, and it's very compact and easily transportable. A little bit more of a close-up here. Here are 4 of the steel targets. Up here are the hangers, which I will show you individually how I use them. Obviously you can see the 2x4s that fit nicely inside the Jeep, extending up into the front. And over here you can see more of the steel, as well as the conduit that I use for the legs to support the target frame. In terms of the individual components, left to right, we have a target hanging hook assembly bracket. This is what the conduit fits on to form the legs. Second in from the left is a target hook assembly. Now that is a 4-inch hook. Next to it is the same thing in a 10-inch hook variety. You can see it's a much longer hook on the end, which means the hanging target is going to be lower. To the right of that is my shotgun target. It holds the clay pigeon in that rounded area, and above that is a steel rod that I cut to length. That's going to form the legs to my shotgun stand, which I just made last week. Before that, that shotgun target actually just stuck in the ground, but for a couple of reasons I didn't like that. I wanted it elevated a little more, mimics what I typically shoot more often, and it also it just keeps the shotgun, the shot shell, up and going a little further down range, so I don't scalp the round quite so much. Obviously we have the conduit. It's 3/4-inch conduit I bought in 10-foot lengths and then cut. For the rifle targets, I cut the legs to 56 inches, and the pistol targets I cut to 43 inches. And of course I need 4 of each, 2 legs for each end of the frame. The first piece of wood there you'll see is my shotgun frame. And then the last piece on the right is just an 8-foot 2x4. All of these components are very reasonable cost to purchase and set up. And that's what makes this, for me, so transportable, so easy, so good. It's easy to transport, packs up nicely as you saw, and then sets up very nicely, which I will show you next. You can see I've laid out all my components. The 4 legs, 2 on each end. I have the 2 brackets for the legs, 1 on each end, and then all of my hangers you can see are closer to this end because they're all going to go on from the same end. Okay, so now let's go ahead and set up one end. So I'm going to pick the 2x4 up, and we have to slip these target hangers on first. And if you notice, I'm going to load this one with one 10-inch target. So I need to decide where in this 4 target setup I want it. I'm going to put it second from the left. So I'm going to put these 4 target hangers hooks forward, across the end of this 2x4. Now I'm going to pick up the hanger for the legs, slip that on as well. And now all I do is pick up the conduits, and I put one in that end, and I put one in that end, and just set it on the ground like that. That end's done. In the interest of time, I'm just going to show you some pictures of the rest of the setup. In this image, I simply add the legs on the other side as I had on the first side, and this gives you an idea of what it looks like when the entire frame is erected. And then I spread the hangers out so they're approximately equidistant, left to right across the frame. Here's an image of what the targets look like when they're finally hung. My next step, although I'm not going to show it, is I take a can of spray paint and I spray paint these targets. You can see that the target on the right has been used quite a bit, and the other one's not quite so much. But I'll tell you, when I'm out here shooting by myself, if that right-hand target wasn't painted, I couldn't see where I hit it, and oftentimes I couldn't tell whether I hit it or not during the act of shooting. So by painting them, I can see if I hit it because there will be a mark on it. And so when I go back, if one target's supposed to have 3 bullets on it and it only has 2, well, I know I missed. I don't know where I missed, but I know I missed. The other thing that I find helpful is I can also see where I'm placing my bullets on the target as I'm shooting them. Again, when I'm in the act of shooting, I'm not watching. I can barely tell if I hit the target, and oftentimes I can't tell if I hit or miss. By painting them, I get a really good sense of whether or not I hit the target. The other thing that I found, and I learned this last year, what I found I was doing is I was sweeping across, say, left to right, with my pistols, when I got to that 4th target, many more of my bullets were starting to group just on the left edge of the target, as opposed to maybe on the first target I might be much more in the middle, much more frequently, but by the time I sweep to the right, I was really sort of just inside that edge. And so that kind of told me something. It told me a lot, frankly, and I was able to work and correct that over the course of the year. And of course, in terms of the pistol targets, even though they're not shown here, it's a mirror image of the rifle targets, just using shorter legs. 4 targets. For me, I hung them in the same order, with the 4-inch and the 1 10-inch hanging target, second from the left. It's just a mirror image of the rifle, just a little shorter. Okay, so stepping back here, You can see the frame set up. The rods are in the corners. Again, I drilled about a 45-degree angle for the supporting rods, the feet. And then I drilled smaller holes that those shotgun target holders could fit into partially through that board. But because I also wanted some distance between them, the end ones you can see I drilled at an angle, and the two center ones are just straight. I've never used this before. I just made this last week, so it'll be interesting to see how well this works. So this is the entire setup. Pistol targets, I set them up about 20 feet from the firing line. Rifle targets are about 40 feet, and I typically set the rifle up first because from that I can base everything else from where that is. And then of course, I set my shotgun off to the right. You can change, side by side, but this works really well. The other thing that you will notice is that this allows for some movement. Many times I will start off over here with the pistols, finish, and then move to my right, pick up the rifle, shoot it, set it down, pick up the shotgun, shoot it, and set it down. And again, the movement, depending upon how you have your target set up, you can dictate the movement that you want to practice. All right, well, let's give it a go. I'm going to try to do a Lawrence Welk sweep, not get too caught up in speed. After all, this is really my first practice of the season. Let's show you what this looks like, and also see how my shotgun setup works. So here we go. I'd say that worked pretty well, wouldn't you? Okay, now, because I painted my targets, it appears I missed one pistol on the third, and I missed one pistol round on the fourth, and I hit all my rifle. Now for me, that's consistent with how I began last year. It's why I need to work on my pistol. I can just not keep the sight on target sometimes, which is what I will work on as I head into the shooting season. But without practice like this, I wouldn't know. And frankly, again, without painting the targets, I wouldn't have a clue how many I hit or missed. Okay, couple of final thoughts. First, again, I'm a new shooter. There are a lot of people who can show you how to shoot really well, on YouTube. I don't plan on making those kinds of videos, certainly not for a long time, because I'm just not there. I am a new shooter, and if anything I can share that helps other newer shooters, that'd be great, and really that's my goal. One of these is this setup. Oh, by the way, it took me 5 minutes. I timed it with my phone. 5 minutes to break this down, get it back in the car. Phenomenal, and it's easy. It breaks down to its component parts. Now, this whole setup cost me $327. I'll put the list in an image, on the video. I can't take credit for this. There's a fellow I shoot with. His alias is Mountain Man Champ. He's the fellow who told me about where I can get the steel targets, where I can, that they made hangers that just hang on 2x4s. And so like these 16 by 16 inch steel targets, $16 a piece. I live in Bettendorf, but Davenport, Quad City area. I went to Rich's Metals. It's a metal recycling shop. Called them up, said yes, they can cut it, 16-inch squares, okay. 3/8-inch steel. Had it that afternoon, $16 a piece, as I recall. Now, it didn't come drilled, which was probably the most difficult part for me because, again, I'm not a machinist. I had to figure out how I was going to drill the right size hole in this pretty hard steel. Ended up going out and buying a carbide bit because I'm just a homeowner with home tools. My drill actually wouldn't work with it. Didn't have the power, so I bought a drill as well. But the entire setup, and it's replaceable. If I shoot the 2x4 up, who cares? I go buy another 2x4, $8 board, that kind of thing. It also allows you to vary the target height a bit. I can buy short hooks, I can buy long hooks, depending how much movement do I want to practice. Anyway, I will post the listing at the end of the video so you can see the products that I bought. I had to cut down the conduit, 53-inch legs for the rifle and 56-inch legs for the rifle, 43-inch legs for the pistol. Gave me the height I was going for. Obviously, it's not rocket science, so you don't have to be too exact. But anyway, I hope this helped a little bit, or you found it mildly entertaining. And if you didn't, you probably aren't seeing this part anyway. So anyway, with that, happy trails, and maybe our paths will cross at one of the upcoming shoots. I'll be at Gunsmoke in Minnesota, which is the Midwest Regional, and I got into trail. First time ever. Of course, I've only been doing this for 2 years, but I'll be at Into Trail for the week. So anyway, happy trails, and thanks for watching. Until next time.
I may wear my mall-bought boots and comfort denim jeans, but my heart is straight and true. That's how I see things. My Stetson hat on my head, tipped like Little Joe's. I'll be like that when I'm dead, when there ain't no more to go. I know I'm just a wannabe cowboy, but that's what I wanna be. 'Cause I can't ever be a real cowboy, so I'll settle to be a wannabe.